Hello, we're back. Guys, how now? How now do? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We shall know no propaganda can stop this moving train. Nothing where they plan when go stop this moving train. Yeah. Hey, now wow. These people, I'm so proud of all the obedient supporters. Hey, hello, Atlantic. Welcome. Good to have you here. Happy Saturday. How are you? How's everyone doing? So, my people, I'm sure you guys are already aware. You guys already know what time it is, right? So, let me share this. This is going to be, we're going to just jump right in. Kia, kia, kia. No time to waste, no delay. Eh? If you can see my screen, hopefully you can see my screen. But if you can't, let me know. But if you can, let me know also. Mona see you. Hey, see this guy when they see for flights when they make noise. Let me see if I can even find the video self. It's so ridiculous. These people are so shoddy. It's so easy to look at this one. They came up with an audio saying that I'm not even going to bother playing it because we know that these people are just throwing all manner of propaganda. Everything and the sink and the water inside plus the baby is what they are throwing because they know that this battle is on. So they keep coming up with all manner of propaganda just to throw people off, right? So here's I think there was a meeting going on here about what they want to do. Eh? The Ibom Air story was staged by God. Now wow, these people, they did not win. Only them did not win election. Only them is coming up with propaganda trade. Now Nigeria, my country. Hi Atlantic, welcome. Oh. I'm telling you, oh, be or nothing. Oh. These people are coming up with all manner of stories. I need to listen to this indicators interview. I haven't even had the time to listen to it. Let's see here.
It's very disappointing to Nigerians to hear the DSS speak like this. We feel like this is distractions by the ruling party. And again, there is nobody, none of the opposition parties have spoken about interim government. People are talking about testing the integrity of the courts, just like we have tested the integrity of the strength and integrity of the electoral system. And that's what it is. I do not think that anybody should be afraid when people say we are going to court over an issue. Let the judiciary take its course, and let us all trust that, you know what, this is going to happen through the courts. I have not seen the opposition party. I have not seen Labour Party talking about interim government. We have been talking about the courts. Peter Obi, our presidential candidate, has been talking about testing the integrity of the court, testing the process, and making sure that, look, the process is right, things are done right. And this is what we have been speaking on. Nobody wants to destabilize the country. We feel that this is a distraction. This is trying to distract people and dissuade people from going to court, and we are not going to fall for it.
All right. Now, there are some strong insinuations in some quarters that those making such calls are mostly LP members. Why is this call linked particularly to your party?
I think it's unfortunate. What I'm noticing is that there is an attempt, and I would say, just like I tweeted, a woeful attempt to paint obedience as people who are agents of destabilization because of how strong this movement is, because of how people have dedicated their energy, because of the awakening that the obedience movement, the political awakening that the obedient movement has caused, and because of how many Nigerians are on our side, are on the side of the right thing, are on the side of the truth. I think that the powers that be are threatened. People who have gotten election, or as people would call it, selection, via crooked means are threatened because they know that they cannot get away with what happened on the 28th of February. They cannot get away with what happened in March, on March 18th. These are days that Nigerians were disappointed. We went to the polls hoping that, you know, the will of the people will be done. And at the end of the day, what we got was disappointment. We found out that, look, the institutions we are depending on to defend Nigerians, to stand for Nigerians, are weak and subject to the whims and caprices of politicians, and that's unfortunate. And right now, what is happening is it's going forward. There's an attempt to make sure that, look, people who are standing against this.
Hey, egbe. It is on. These people they are really, look at they're cooking audios so that they're cooking audios. They came up with a story that Oyedepo and Peter Obi, they were discussing religion. I mean, my people. Welcome for life, Esther. Good to have you. These people are they are stopping at nothing just to come up with stories, false stories. Look at this guy. Come to find out, he's not even an obedient, he's an APC plant. This was all orchestrated by. I'm so happy that the LP, those who stand for the truth, those who want the good of Nigeria, they are not falling for all these things, and they're able to debunk them as they come out. Can you imagine? Eh? Hey, my goodness. From Festus Keyami's tweet, you can see the well-crafted propaganda and conspiracy. He said that since the man who was apprehended that claims to be a Peter Obi supporter, then Obi must come out to condemn it. Or can you imagine? So they plan these people and expect. Wow, woo. They just try to throw anything at Peter Obi. It's not sticking. They go try, and so they go they fail one after the other, one after the other. Honestly, let me see if I can find this video of Indicator on Arise, because I want us to listen to it. I like her. I really, every time she comes on, I'm always um I don't think I was able to. Let me see if I can find it. Arise News, where are you? So it will be on their live, right? Their live thing, their live feed. Let me see. But bear with me, oh my people. I want to wait. Mbanu, make I go back. I dey try to pull up the video for now. Make we see. Is this it? Yes, it is. Got it. Got it. Okay, let's see. Let's start somewhere here. I can't stand this guy. Let me start from here. Um, okay. All right. I'm gonna share this. I want us to listen to this. I love Indicato, man. I love to see the Labour Party spokeswomen on fire. I love them. Okay, so let me know when you can see my screen. So we're gonna play this. Okay, let's see right there. I'm trying to start it from the very beginning for you guys.
In the meantime, a yet to be identified man was on Friday evening carried off an Abuja to Lagos flight. The middle aged lone protester was said to have announced President elect Bola Tinubu must never be sworn in as president on May 29. In a video that has gone viral on social media, it took the efforts of no fewer than 6 airport security officers to evacuate him after holding up the aircraft for more than an hour.
Don't excuse me, please. Sir, you don't know anything. Obedience! Obedience! Obedience!
Say go, guys. Madam, you have to leave. You guys have to leave that place.
And the national youth leader of the All Progressives Congress, Daya Israel, has been complaining about the bitterness and ill feelings amongst Nigerian youths following the aftermath of the presidential election. Well, Israel, while appearing on Arise's program Perspective, said cyberbullying by some people loyal to a particular party is becoming a source of concern and threatens the unity of the country.
The last this election we've just held has really created a deep sense of bitterness among some sect who are perhaps unhappy about the outcome. And we're not talking about the election, but the result of that has had impact on how human
to paint obedience with a brush. And the truth is, this is a movement that comprises of Nigerians, right? Millions of Nigerians who demand better, who believe in the candidacy of Peter Obi, who know that, look, this man can deliver a better country for us based on his antecedents. So it's not that we just gather together to make noise. And one of the most upsetting things is when people point these fingers at obedience, they forget that during this campaign season, we have lost a ward woman leader in Southern Kaduna. We have lost a House of Assembly candidate in Imo. We have lost a Senate candidate. We have come under attack. Peter Obi has been stoned, all sorts of things. Even today, Dr. Tape came out. They accused him of declaring religious war. These are things that this candidate has gone through so much. There's something Peter Obi said, that I was a good man till I decided to run for president. That is when everybody decided. And that's the same thing here. Over and over again, Peter Obi has been that one candidate that has told his followers, I don't want you people to be violent. I don't want us to behave in this way. Even after the elections, when people were calling for nationwide protests, he said, no, we are going to test the integrity of the courts as we have tested the integrity of the electoral system. We are going to test the strength of this institution, and that is what we are doing. We're pushing for that. And a lot of young people, what the obedient movement has done is to call for a political awakening, and that is what has happened. So the political class and other people who are used to benefiting from this rent-seeking system are not used to being questioned, are not used to the ordinary man on the street understanding the issues and questioning their every word. When they say 1 + 1 = 3, somebody will stand up to them and say, no, this is not the case. They are not used to it. And so when they are questioned like this, they start crying bullying and all of that. I mean, we saw what happened in Lagos. We saw the attacks that obedience came under just to be able to vote. Somebody died in Edo State. Just these are the issues. So when you talk of violence in this campaign season, these are the things. And we have come under so many attacks. We have people who have lost lives.
We totally understand. Yes, unfortunately, some lives were lost in the process, and all of them still remain vivid in our memories. But at the end of the day, the accusation, not just from Daya Israel, but members of other political parties, is that obedience sometimes can be unruly in terms of, how they look at certain issues. For instance, Peter Obi has said no to protest and all of that, but we're still seeing some vile tweets using the social media space now. And what you're saying is, for the fact that there is already ongoing litigation, shouldn't that actually get everyone to just calm down and wait for the judiciary to do its due diligence? So what would be a reaction to that in terms of, why not, Peter Obi, some of them are requesting that he comes out now and say, obedient, can we calm down with the rhetoric?
But I do think that we're very calm. I think that if you follow the social media conversation, it is people talking about the court cases. It is people talking about, look, this election was flawed. International observers have said the elections were flawed. Everybody has said, look, this is it. We need better elections. We need, Peter Obi has said, look, this system, this was flawed. The process was flawed. You are going to court to go and debate this. That is what we are talking about on social media. So I will point to, look, when people say unruly, I think and I believe that it is that they are not used to being questioned.
I need you to be very objective about this, because at the end of the day, if you are objective enough, you'll be getting a good opportunity in defense of your people. All right, because it's not our words, and it's not even Israel's words. The social media is replete with the actions and reactions of the obedient, as they are called, and sometimes they don't even listen to their candidates. Why don't they listen to the candidates?
Did you see the build-up to the gubernatorial elections and the kind of attacks that people came under in the build-up to the gubernatorial elections? It's quite sad that has happened, but we're not even having serious conversations around it. Those conversations led to attacks on people. Those are conversations that we should focus on. When you single out people and say, look, you don't belong in these places if you come out and vote, these are the conversations, because these are the things that led to violence.
Right.
These are the things, not people joking when they attack your car. Somebody came and posted a picture and says it's a lie, it's not your car. People were laughing about it. That did not lead to violence. These conversations have led, we have issues that have led to violence against us. And these are the conversations we should be having. It is the
conversation we're having. And we need to all look at it objectively here, because all of this bullying, we will not blame it only on the obedience, because the truth is we have seen political parties and even their spokespeople go beyond.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like,
as a media person now who happens to be one of the spokespersons of the Obi Adati campaigns, how would you advise that would draw that line between, having to support your candidate and actually push out whatever you believe should have happened with the election, and hate speech, that line there?
Number one, I want to correct this thing where it is, it's tagged that obedience are the
I did
ones.
say it's not synonymous to the
Yes.
obedience.
So it looks like,
we
oh,
are
it's
seeing that a
disobedience.
lot
And
in the politics
yes,
in the country right now.
unfortunately, things are heated. The political space has become so heated. And it didn't start now. From the 2015 elections, it really got bad when people were reporting people to their bosses to fire them. And it has built up from there. So people, when they come into the political space, people are on the offensive and defensive because they do not want to be the ones on the receiving end of these things. But this is not an obedience situation that, oh, it's just obedience that do this. Look, the truth about it is the people who have faced the most consequence for hate speech is obedience. We have been lynched, all sorts. We are burying people. Badebo Rhodes Vivo is still visiting people. Peter Obi had to visit people after the elections. So when we're talking about the consequences of these things, these are and you know what? When you talk about us as media people, look, everybody that has been representative of the obedient movement has been quite sensible with their speech. But you have spokespersons, official spokespersons of other political parties being able to say really, really, really terrible things and get away with it. So terrible that we have a professor in Canada who has had to carry a case to ICC for what the spokesperson of the APC said. So when you talk about these things, look, anybody can wake up today and say obedience. You played the video of that person. Do you know that as of this evening, obedience have gone and traced the real name of the person on the flight? Where he used to work, where his wife works, she works at the TV station, all of that have brought that police take. Because when these accusations come now, they will say obedience. So obedience about the police, look, we have fed you with every information about this character that did this.
Are you saying he's not an obedient, the person who was screaming obedience in the plane?
No.
Are you saying he's
obedience
not?
brought it out? No.
He's
and
not.
That's the thing. Anybody can wake up and say, and like I said, we are facing, this is the kind of thing we're facing now.
So
that
make us understand that sometimes some people, in being objective now, sometimes some other people who are not obedient camouflage as obedient on social media to tarnish the image of the obedience. Is that what you're saying?
And when that happens, like with the case of today, obedience take their time, go and investigate, bring out the name of the person, because we do not want to be tainted like that. Even with the conversation of the Eze in Lagos, they have brought out this Eze is actually in Isolo. This man has actually shown support for the ruling party. So now why are you painting him with obedient brush?
Well, the video that he released is clear.
Yes, but they have gone back to trace.
Right.
And so what I'm pointing out is, look, there is a concerted effort to paint situation right now when we are waiting for the court case. And look, literally, our leader has said this. We are going to court. All of us, we are facing court. Okay. We are hoping that it will be shown live on TV so that we follow that process. And right now, while we are trying to face that, we are seeing all sorts of things. Today, they'll say, oh, this group of obedience, that group of obedience.
Well, according to Ndakato, she says the person who tried to hijack that Ibom Air flight is not an obedient. But
no, he's not.
Okay, so let's move beyond that right now. And I want to get your thoughts on the conversations about the fact that there are a group of people who are planning to disrupt the inauguration come May 29, because based on allegations from a statement by APC, actually laying the claim allegations once again, on the Labour Party and its supporters. And also the fact that we did see your vice presidential candidate, Dati, on a TV station where he talked about the fact that if the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sworn in, it's going to be akin to a military takeover.
So the conversation, we've had this conversation about the interim government, and the people who can do interim government are the people in power. It really is not obedience. So no matter what anybody says, there's only certain group of people who can bring in interim government, and it's not us. We're not in power at the moment. So whenever APC, and we have seen this across the campaign season, whenever APC and itself are in battle with themselves, then they start to point fingers. But the only people, and I will say it here again, and you know that the only people who can declare interim government, who can bring in interim government, is Buhari and his government. Definitely not us. We do not hold any apparatus of power to bring in an interim government. So if the DSS is having these conversations and other arms of the APC are having this conversation, it definitely cannot be against obedience, because what power does the Labour Party or obedience have to bring in interim government? I do not know.
Okay, it's quite amazing how this has panned out. In any case, what word do you have for your people as we wrap all this, so that they do not keep giving out that negative energy in the social media space?
I think that we need to continue with what we are focused on, which is the court case. We need to continue to focus on the candidacy of Peter Obi, getting justice at the court, testing the strength and integrity of the judicial system. And that's what we are focused on. That is the conversation we're having. That is the conversation I see on my own TL. That is the conversation I have with young people around the country. That's the conversation I have with young obedience, older obedience, all our spokespersons. That is what we're on TV about. The court cases, this electoral system was flawed. We are going to test the judiciary to see that we get justice at the court. And that is it. We're focused on that, and we need to ignore the distractions.
Good place to drop the anchor tonight.
Thank you.
Ndi Kato, of course, a member of the Labour Party and one of the spokespersons for the OB.
All right. You see why I love Ndi Kato? This is one of the reasons. She's fire. She pushes back. You see, already, they don't already inform her. Tell her, say that guy no be obedient to. Now APC, they don't, no. Obedient to not do this one. I throw away salute to not too much. I'm telling you, honestly, terrible people. My goodness, they keep coming up with I'm so glad. My goodness, I am so glad. Oh, she is. You didn't know? Man, Christopher, now one of the fire spokeswomen for LPO. I love her. She even don't come with Naija Watch self one time. We don't interview her for Naija Watch. I really, really love her. Fire. She pushed back and she was very, very tough. I really loved her interview. You know, always on point. Exactly. Always on point. There's another video I want to share with us here. Let me see. Our very own. Let me know when you can see my screen. I'm flattered though, honestly. I like her. I'm really flattered. That's a huge compliment for me. That's a huge compliment. Yeah, she was on Naija Watch, Christopher. She was. So let me know if you can see my screen before I start this one. Let me get it. Yeah. If I start this video. Okay, good. Let's do this.
It's a pleasure to have you again, sir.
He's not calling to deliver it. It's just daily. How's the name?
Let's go away. In the light of how the last presidential elections and the national elections has been described as one of the worst in this country's electoral process, questions are being raised. By what metrics? What's your analysis?
Well, I'll be careful to speak strictly to only what I know, either to be facts or what I witnessed on my own. What happened on the 25th of February might be evaluated in two parts. The first part should deal with the people themselves. The Nigerian people, I can speak specifically to Lagos State because this is where I reside. The Nigerian people turned out in their numbers, in unprecedented numbers, to exercise their franchise. That is not in consonance with what had happened before that day, the level of citizens' engagement with the process. So all the promises that INEC had given people, the works that had been done by multiple civil society organizations and individuals who had reconnected the people back to the PVC in the hope that we might be able to have genuine changes at the polls in deference to the yearnings and aspirations of a lot of Nigerians. So as far as Nigerians were concerned, Nigerians trooped out, they were engaged, but that is the point where elections ended. Citizens' engagement. And the word citizen is important, and we'll come back to it as I answer your question. So Nigerians were generally engaged, even in parts of Nigeria where they had given up on Nigeria. And it's not just in the Southeast. It's always very easy to identify the change movement with the Southeast, which is the home region of the candidate that came to symbolize the yearning and aspiration for change. But when you consider the fact that in places like Benue, in places like Plateau, in places like Yobe, in places like Borno, in places like Rivers, in Edo, in Delta, in vast parts of the Southwest itself, there was a palpable demand for a different direction, and the people came out like that. So you realize very quickly that where the system had not expected to find cohesion, they were shocked to find cohesion. Where the system had not expected that common purposes would be found, common purposes were found across the country. So the people, insofar as it relates to the 25th of February, demonstrated a willingness and a desire to live together as one and to change the system through the peaceful route offered by the electoral system. But that was where it ended. INEC proved to be exactly what it has always been, completely Nigerian. Nigerian in the sense of everything that has been bad with our country for a long time. It preferred to be ruled by impunity instead of the guidelines and order that it had promised the Nigerian people. So in every way that it was possible for INEC to fail as an institution, it failed woefully. In a sane environment, in a system where they are truly citizens, strictly so-called, in a system governed by law, Professor Yakubu, he should be in jail by now because of the multiple infractions of the guidelines that he himself publicly eulogized, sold to everybody from Nigeria to the international community. Straight down the line, we had multiple failures. These are already in the public space. And I speak as Dele Farotimi, a retired lawyer, in case you have forgotten. Now, in that failure, you had INEC servers, or whatever they called it, being switched off. You had beavers unable to transmit results, not because it is incapable of doing so, but because human beings decided to intervene. Because if they allowed the system to work, the room for impunity would disappear. So everything the man promised he promised a Rolls Royce, but he didn't even deliver a jalopy. He delivered an omolanke, unfit for purpose. That is what the man has done at great cost. The money that he has just wasted, squandered, organizing the nonsense that he has now called an election, which is the point of departure with the 25th. I am careful, not because I am particularly respectful of any one of the many lying institutions, but because some people have elected to go to court. I am hoping that that court system will be the perfect place to unrobe the Nigerian state. I remember when we were talking after the NSAS, and I was explaining why we were going to the tribunal. I said it, and we're on record as saying that we didn't expect to get justice out of the system, but that since they had opened a tribunal, that we will go to that tribunal and use the tribunal to establish the fact that there was indeed a massacre. And we eventually used that tribunal, and kudos to the chairwoman of the tribunal. We used that tribunal, the same tribunal set up by the state, comprising of members only nominated by the state. We used that same tribunal to prove that the governor was lying. We used that tribunal to prove that the Nigerian police and the Nigerian army are institutional killers and liars. We used the same tribunal to unrobe the state to the point where you began to have inspectors discovering camcorders and things. So we are confident that the OB team at the tribunal would equally use the tribunal to unrobe INEC and different members of the debauched lot who sit in that place and pretend to be serving the country whilst they are ruining it and lining their own pockets. So insofar as it relates to the 25th of February, yes, the people did their part and INEC failed them as it has always done. The police failed them as they always are, because the police stood by whilst thugs who work in tandem with governors. This is where I speak to the conflict.
Okay, I'm not going to play all of that video. If you want to see it, it's on Sahara News TV, because I have one or two more videos to go to show before we start delving into this. So I'm going to stop that for now. And let me see. I want to play this video by okay. All right, so let's watch this interview with Mayegun and David Hudain. I like to hear this. I haven't really had time to watch it, so you guys, I'm watching it for the first time as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, that's brilliant. How are you?
Well, I'd like to say I'm fine, but well, I have been better.
Well, we'll get to that part at some point. Anyway, this is us. On Mayegun's Diary Politico, a lot of us have been following your work. I personally, right, I am one of your ardent, should I say, fan? Okay, I'm one of your fans. Okay, and this is why.
Yeah.
When we are trying to understand what is wrong with Nigeria, a lot of people don't kind of get where this generation, this young generation, the angle where we're actually coming from, that is prompting this reaction and counter-reaction. Now that they know better in the political space the political stuff of Nigeria, a lot of the older generation don't understand. You as a person, I'm sorry that I'm just rushing straight into it, okay? However, you as a person, you have put your own life, career on the line, exposing what is really wrong with Nigeria, right? So is it all right if I ask that so far so good, with what you have exposed so far so good, us ending up with Tifnumbu if that happens, right? Like, would you say you are, in a way, kind of disappointed to start with? And what's the consequences? Let's start from there. What's the consequences of us having to live under that toga of Tifnumbu presidency with what we know? Let's start.
So very unfortunately, when we're talking, I don't know whether it was my internet, there was a glitch. So I lost you for about 10 seconds. So if you could go back about 10, 15 seconds.
Okay, let me just put a summary. I was talking about us as a younger generation now challenging the old order. While the old order feels like we are just like an angry, mob, so to say, who don't really understand the complexity of Nigeria. But with somebody like yourself, who has invested so much in exposing the rot that a lot of us actually use as material to educate other people what is wrong with Nigeria, right? So you as a young person today, so I think we should just put it like you as a young person today, would you say you are disappointed? And if yes, which I believe, right? What is that consequences of us, despite all that fight, living under Tifnumbu's presidency, knowing what we know? and where we are. Starting from you, Baba. Do you hear that?
Well, I think I got most of it this time. So from what I heard, you're basically asking from my perspective as a young person, um, what is it about the potential of the Tinubu presidency that elicits such a strongly negative reaction? From my point of view, I think that's general thrust of what you're asking, and there are many answers to that question, but I think so. Let me start from the most immediate answer. The most immediate answer is, first of all, if we call ourselves an electoral democracy, which means that we choose our own leaders, we hold elections, and the result of that election is what determines who becomes the leader. And then we had an election, or what was supposed to be an election, and we categorically did not choose this person. We did not vote for this person. And then this person is declared winner. This person basically imposes himself on a country like Nigeria. Even if he was he was an angel, even if he was a great candidate, even if he would have been a good president, if the people do not choose you and you impose yourself, first of all, that means that it's no longer an electoral democracy. First of all, right? It's from that point on, it has become a dictatorship. And I think I've forgotten who it was that said this, but it's been argued credibly that a civilian dictatorship is actually even worse than a military dictatorship, because a military dictatorship is one which finds it very difficult to gain any kind of local or international credibility, because everybody knows that these are jackbooted soldiers who should be in the barracks, who are pretending to lead the country. Nobody takes them serious. But when it's a civilian who wears the affectations of a democracy, a country that has the institutions of a democracy, holds elections or things that resemble elections, has a Freedom of Information Act on paper, has separation of powers on paper, has a sovereign constitution on paper, has all the paraphernalia of a democracy, but it's just not being run as a democracy. How do you want to fight it? Which is why some people insist that a civilian dictatorship is actually much worse than a military dictatorship. So from the moment where we are now seriously having this conversation now, that not only did this person not win the election, because I don't think it's the first time in Nigeria's history that somebody didn't necessarily win an election and they got declared the winner. But I think this is the first time where somebody has been this roundly rejected by the public, and then somehow has still managed to try to get to the cusp of imposing himself. So that's danger number one. We will no longer be able to refer to ourselves as a democracy. Now, following on from that is danger number two. When a government comes into power, knowing fully well that it does not have his mandates, it has no real legitimacy, it shouldn't be in office, and it's got there through strategic deployment of bribery and violence. When this government gets into office, there is no reason to expect that this government is going to do anything constructive for the total period of its tenure, because why would it? Right? If the people chose you, if the people gave you their mandates, that means that you have a burden of expectation on you. But when the people didn't choose you and the people didn't give you their mandates, and you got into office anyway, you don't owe the people anything. It's as simple as that. So
let's go in this way, David. Sorry to cut you short. Okay, before I actually miss that, in a way, one of your works, apart from the a big one that I so much respect you for, the genocide in Southern Kaduna, right? We'll probably get to that part at some point. I mean, how powerful could Tinubu be to have taken over all institutions that could have actually really, if they are doing their jobs, we won't get to this stage at all. So for somebody like yourself, how rotten is that system for somebody like Tinubu to actually maneuver all institutions for so long to become to the point of taking over INEC and become president-elect of Nigeria? How powerful is he in your own investigative journalist perspective? How powerful is he?
The very funny thing about this is I was having that exact conversation with somebody who's, I won't mention his name, but he used to be a member of NADECO in the 90s alongside Tinubu a few days ago. I will actually have this conversation where I asked him this question that, so you're telling me that in this space of maybe 30 years between the 90s and now, this person has gone from being somebody who, at least on paper, fled Nigeria, went into exile, was an outsider, like was not part of the establishment on paper. In 30 years, he has gone from being a total rank outsider with no what's it called? With no pedigree within the security establishment, which still has such huge influence in Nigeria. In the 30 years, he has gone from that to becoming the establishment himself. So what does that tell us about how useless the Nigerian security services actually are? So the military, the DSS, the NIA, the DIA, I mean, that these alphabet, what do you call them, alphabet soup agencies, these intelligence security agencies that exist and have huge budgets and people who run them are very powerful. That means that they're all just paper tigers, because you basically have someone who, first of all, where did he even come from? How did he get into Nigerian politics? The story is still so murky. He just appeared in 1991 with no prior pedigree whatsoever and ran for senator of Lagos West. And somehow we won that election, somehow, from nowhere. There's no pedigree backing him. There's no record of achievement, nothing, just money. That's it. Where did the money come from? Nobody knows. He just appeared. And then, okay, the June 12th annulment happened. And then his attempt to ingratiate himself with Abacha didn't work out. Then he claims he fled the country, went into exile in the UK and all of that. He came back in 1998, reinvented himself as some sort of hero, which he wasn't, and spent 8 years in office and entrenched himself as like the de facto godfather of Lagos. I can understand that. But between 2007 and 2023, how is it that this person who hasn't even been in office has been allowed to accumulate so much influence across all these systems? What that tells me is that the Nigerian system doesn't actually have anyone in charge, or doesn't really have any group of people in charge. It's a runaway train, which is just speeding downhill. And there's nobody driving it. There's no adults in the room. There's nobody who is actually saying, okay, this is some sort of red line that can't be crossed. No matter how many things are wrong with Nigeria, at least we have to make sure that some very, very basic things don't go wrong again, so that we don't get another situation again. And what this tells me, so we absolutely find ourselves in another Abacha Babangida situation again. If someone like this could have wormed his way to the very center of Nigeria's establishment in full view of everyone, in full view over less than 20 years, then what that tells me is that we're all just sitting ducks, really, in that country.
And what does this mean? Because see, Nigeria is known as, well, they will say Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, right? In fact, it seems to be a taboo, right, for Nigerians if their leaders are not corrupt. It's like a crime. Why would you not? Even if you don't want to. The system is built in a way that you will be criminally enriched.
Yeah.
Sure you get. So, we had that toga for so long. We've had it. And people have been saying, they need Nigeria need leader. They need somebody that that is actually leader. That when you are called leader, that means people accept you as theirs, including your flaws. We've never had anybody accused of drug running, including conviction. Is it true that when that investigation was going on in America, including the trial, that was also the same moment Tinubu was running for senator in Nigeria? So that was the reason why, when others were convicted, he got his own indictment easily because he was not even in America. Is that true? Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's 100% true.
It is true.
Yes, I can
now,
hear you.
back to my main
no
question.
one has to take my word.
My main question, right?
No one has to take my word for it
is,
because the documents exist.
Yeah, you're gonna go into details now. So back to my main question. If that is true, then what does it really mean to have a narco convicted president for already battered image? I mean, the image of a country that has already been battered historically. What does this mean in a new trend of things for an average Nigerian abroad? David.
So the key thing that people need to understand about why this is such a bad thing for ordinary Nigerians, both in the country and outside the country, is that you'll be surprised. I mean, you will be surprised because you live in the diaspora. So obviously you see these things on a daily basis. But maybe if you don't live outside Nigeria, you might not know this, but you might be surprised to find out how many processes that affect your life as a diasporan that are not really based on any real scientific examination of facts. It's just perception. There are so many processes like that. That, for example, the reputation the Nigerians supposedly have for cybercrime. If you have to actually look at the real data, Nigeria is not in the world's top 12 or 13 countries for cybercrime. But the point is, nobody cares about the data. The perception is the only important thing. So once you say you're a Nigerian anywhere in the world, the first thing they will think, one of the first things they will think of is, oh, Nigerian prince, Nigerian scammer. Meanwhile, the actual data does not suggest that Nigerians are outsized fraudsters or criminals in any way. I mean, long before you get to Nigeria on the list, you will talk about the US, UK, Brazil, North Korea, Russia. Those are the big hitters. Nigeria is, it's not in the big league, but that perception has very real consequences for you when you are trying to travel, when you're applying for visas, when you're applying for jobs. I know someone, he's a friend of mine. He's in Aberdeen in the UK. So he completed a master's program sometime last year. Yeah, he did a master's in cybersecurity. This is a very highly qualified computer programmer. He did his first degree in computer science. He did his master's at Aberdeen in cybersecurity, and for about 8 months, he wasn't able to nail down a job, like a proper job in the UK. He found himself doing like security work and all sorts of things. And no one ever came out and told him, because in the UK, it's illegal to, at least to show that you are discriminating. No one ever came out and told him clearly. But it was hinted on a number of occasions that, look, okay, you've done very well on this assessment, you've done very well on this interview, but like this is a bank. And basically, before we're going to hire you to work on our cybersecurity team, we have to do reference checks. And they start making all those kinds of comments.
Taking up, upping the scale for him and all that.
Exactly.
Not telling him that they are doing all that because he's from Nigeria. Perception.
Exactly. So when you then have somebody, a head of state, who is not just linked, but very clearly and credibly associated with not just any kind of drug trafficking, but heroin trafficking. Heroin, which is the very worst of all the drugs. It's worse than crack cocaine. It's the very worst, right? If you God forbid, if you have a relative who is ever going to get addicted to drugs, it's
Okay, so you guys get the gist though, right? You get the gist. So we're gonna go into talking about the videos. Hey, Mr. Chike, welcome. What do you say here? Oh, please leave me the video. as if I read your mind. All right, no worries. No, I'm taking it out. I didn't even intend to play it. I just wanted us to hear what David Hundeyi was talking about. So, but anyway, basically, we all know what's going on, and my own thing here is my own spiel is that we cannot give up. These people are coming up with propagandas every day. Every day you wake up, right? We need to be very focused as we have always been. We can't allow these people um continue to get away with the things that they've been getting away with. I know that a lot of us Nigerians right now, some of us are not even like interested in the politics in Nigeria. People are like, well, we don't care, but the truth is that all these things that are happening, they have a way of affecting you one way or the other. You might not see it right now, just like David. That's why I played that video, so that those of us who are outside of Nigeria or who are not in the country, wherever you are, don't think that because you are in outside of Nigeria, it might not get to you. This is why everybody's hands need to be on deck, as they say. all hands on deck. We can't fight this alone. You can't be in your corner somewhere and say, well, I'm not in Nigeria, so it doesn't bother me. Yes, it does, because when you want to travel, when they ask you where you come from, at the end of the day, if you have to go through that process of telling people where you come from and all of that, Nigeria is going to pop up at some point. So we have to really unite and fight these people to the ground. And we have to put away all manner of sentiments. I don't care what sentiments are out there. We need to outgrow that. For now, we need to put everything on hold. We can resolve things later, but right now we need to come together and fight a common enemy. These people are throwing all types of propaganda at us so that we can be distracted and be arguing about the things that don't matter. While we're doing that, they're hoping that they can buy time, waste everybody's time so that it will get to May 29, and then whatever it is they're desiring or wishing it will not happen. So this is why we have to keep our eyes open, keep our eyes on the ball. We know they back down. We know they give them the opportunity to sneak anything on us. The way they take sneak in at 4 a.m, take carry certificate give person wey when they select, we no fit let that one happen again. Everybody eye dey shine. And I'm sure some of us watched the video with the one of the senior advocates. I think it was he used to be the NBA chairman. What's his name? Mr. Olisagbakoba, right? He came out and the man said that he has lost trust in the judiciary. For a senior advocate of Nigeria to come and tell you that they're even now considering, well, should the Supreme Court be really the highest place in the land, the highest law in the land, the highest place that people can go to seek, remedy for whatever concerns they have? People are having the conversations now, but guess what? All those ones will not work until we get someone who has sense, who knows what he's doing. Kene, welcome. We're just going to be going around in circles. These people don't mean well for you. They don't mean well for us. They don't care. Ask yourself, why is Agbado in France? You guys know there's been protests in France going on. You guys already know they kicked France out of Mali and other places. Where do you think they're trying to come to? No, we dey ask ourselves questions. So may not be say we wake up one morning, all of us will dey act surprised. But otherwise, wetin France dey keep Agbado for when they know say the guy in hand no pure? Wetin e dey do for that country? Una understand wetin I dey talk? So we need to really keep our eyes focused. Don't fall for any propaganda. Don't let anybody deceive you. Do not allow anybody deceive you or make you feel bad or get you in your emotions. I know sometimes politics can be emotional. I'm guilty of it, right? But for the right reasons, be emotional for the right reasons. Don't be emotional because some petty fights. There's no need. Keep your eye on the ball. We need to stay focused. They are pumping out propaganda from their coven every day. Every day, I guarantee you, tomorrow now they will come up with another thing. Every day, because they are desperate. Exactly, Kenny. Exactly. On all sides, Niger, it has, you understand? There's Cotonou, there's Benin. Guys, open your eyes. Una not let these people deceive una. The fight is not between Igbo or Yoruba or whatever. We go dey resolve issues after, until we get the right person in. All these issues, when they go back and forth, we cannot resolve it right now. That's just the fact. So let's keep our eyes on the ball. What is Agbado doing in France? What is he doing there? What deals is he striking with these people? You don't know. You are not there. You are not in their meetings. You don't know whether he's selling parts of Nigeria off. All they are waiting for is the 29th, so that the contract will come into come full term for them. My people, when we not sleep, close eye. Don't fall for anybody that's trying to distract you. It is Peter the Rock Obi or nothing. It's just that simple. And I'm very happy that obedience are not falling for all this propaganda. Anything where they like now, obedience they'll just debunk the thing, find the person, reach in house, self, reach in village. Before you know, apapapa, they don't come out with information on the person. Talk about efficiency. That is our strength, and we need to keep it going. Don't fall for the manipulation. Do not, no matter what they say, do not fall for the propaganda. Don't fall for the manipulation. It's okay to feel bad momentarily, but move on. Keep your eye on the ball. They are waiting. I'm sure some of them are listening to me right now. They are looking for something that they can hold on to go and create some propaganda or the other. Do not fall for it. Just they look them like monkey. Do you understand? All they fold hand, they look them. Everything wey dem dey plan go fail. Every propaganda go fail. Do you understand? Everything go fail. Everything wey dem dey plan na fail. Dem go dey failure, failure, F9, F9, then dem go dey see. Because we will be debunking each and every propaganda as they come up. Do you understand? So yes, exactly, they set up fake fight. Nothing dey happen. Keep your eye on the ball. Personally, when I feel a little bit down or I'm feeling like, oh my god, this battle is getting overwhelming, I go to Peter Obi's page. Oh, the man gives me hope. Oh, I'm telling you, no matter what is happening, this man has a permanent smile on his face. I don't know whether na human being this man be, honestly. Hey, Peter Obi is made of something that we are not aware of. Oh, I never seen man like this for my life. The man is steady. Nothing gets to him. I'm telling you. Do you understand? So let's remain focused. Every time I will need encouragement, I go to his page. I look at this man. He's smiling. He's visiting people. He's visiting people that were injured during the election. Who does that? I never hear am before. Going, if he hear, as long as he hear and he know, he go visit. I hear the same thing is going, Gbadebo is doing the same thing. Gbadebo is going from place to place, visiting people that were injured during the election. You know, so my people, this battle, we are winning it, but we have to stay united. I beg you. This is not time. This is no time for us to be carried away and be divided. This fight is really between the haves and the have-nots. Don't get it twisted. All those people that are setting up all these tribal sentiments and the rest of, they marry each other children. Oh, they not dey remember tribal sentiment when they want marry or when they want do party. Oh, they go create the problem, waka comot. Hey, so until we get our mandate, all these grievances, we cannot resolve it. It will just be pain after pain after. You see, they don't pay attention. Even with all the complaints that are coming out, complaints that are going on, Boo not come out address them. You don't even know that people, they exist for that country. The man does not talk to anybody, doesn't listen to anybody. Agbado de France, they negotiate with them for France to give them a part of, make una not fall for am. United we stand. United we stand. I'm telling you, these people are not many, they are very few, but they want to keep us divided so that we'll be distracted, so they can keep giving us pennies. Do you want foreigners to come and take over your land? Do you? Is that what you want? Because that's what it's looking like right now. Lebanese has more rights than you, that is Nigerian. Lebanese people have access to businesses. They are doing, Lebanese people get supermarkets, get all kinds of, Indians get Kia. Not be that they sell Kia for Nigeria. They get different businesses. Where your own. You won't be the indigene of the land. You not fit drink water drop cup. You not fit drink water drop cup. You think say these people don't know anything that they do? They try to deprive you of your rights so that they can get access to the resources on your land and keep selling them off. while you continue to suffer. It ends here. This year no fit pass this year. These people, we go fight this fight to the end. Na dem go give up. Already they are giving up because they're not fit. All their propaganda machine dey fail. Thank you very much. Yes, we are beating them at their weird games. That's right. That is exactly right. F9, F8, FF, double. Oh my God. But it's true. It is. You understand? Exactly. The quickness. I'm telling you, the guy, he shock. I see the thing. The next thing that they see debunking, I say, what? I was like, wow. Obedience are fast. My goodness. They don't already pull am. Indicator had information while she went for, no. I have to give it to the obedience, abeg, not sin. These people, no. I'm proud. Even the fake, exactly. Do you guys want me to play that fake Oyedepo chat? It's just a few minutes long. Actually, it's let me see. It's let me see. It's only 13 seconds long. Exactly. Honestly, Mr. Chike, that's the truth, oh. I'm telling you, they slave for legal. I'm telling you, as I see it, it's crazy. It's crazy. We can't. Foreigner come be like say get more right than you when be the indigene of the land. Make it make sense. Now like this, we want to fold our hand. They look. No, we have to take back what belongs to us. We go determine who come our land, which foreigner we allow onto our land, and which one is not allowed. People they pack sand, pack resources, they go their country, go they take and do better thing for their people. Our own leaders know. They want if you let them do, they go sell everybody again like they did during slave trade. We not fit allow them. Hey, okay, make I play am.
Are you in Lagos or Abuja? I'm in Onitsha now. Good. So you'll be there for the election? Yes, sir. Very good. Yes, sir. That's where to be. Thank you. Are you in Lagos or Abuja?
Do you know that they have what's it called, technology where they can do deep fakes and make up and get people's voice and use their voices, right? You guys know that. I'm sure you guys know that. I'm preaching to the choir right now. They have technology that would like find videos and then they would tie it. I'm telling you, it's crazy what they can do with people's voices these days and your image as well. Welcome, Skystream. Welcome. Good to have you. Happy Saturday. This is what the deep fake is all about. They're not going to win this. They can't win this. We have to continue to show up every day. Every day. We have to keep showing up every day. These people not fit. They not get the power. They're not fit to do anything unless we allow them. Let's listen to this one. You guys can see my screen, right? Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. All right, let me play it.
Good morning, Daddy. Praise the Lord. How are you, sir? Fine, Daddy. Good morning, Daddy. Amen. In Jesus' name, we are going to get a bright result. Thank you, Daddy. When I hear this your call and prayers, Daddy is very dear to me. And like I keep saying, if this works, you people will never regret this support. Amen. We look forward to God's intervention. Thank you, Daddy. We look forward to God's intervention. Thank you, Daddy. We look forward to God's intervention. Amen, Daddy. Daddy, I need you to speak to the people in the Southwest, your people in the Southwest, and Kwara. Okay. I've been in touch with Kwara people. The Christians in the Southwest and Kwara. This is a religious war. I believe that. You know, I did the release, Nigeria going forward. Yes. And I'm coming out with the second one today. Thank you, Daddy. I wanted it out before when they won't have any time to do damage control. Thank you, Daddy. So, but in the name of Jesus, this project has succeeded. Amen. You know what I said into this one? A sickly nation like Nigeria will require a strong and healthy personality. Thank you, sir. And I said anyone whose source of wealth cannot be verified should not have access to governance, particularly in a draining economy like Nigeria. So all we are doing is appealing to the wisdom and conscience of people. Thank you, Daddy. To know where to go. Thank you, Daddy. But I want to assure you in the name of Jesus that the result shall be favorable. Thank you, Daddy. That the result shall be favorable. Thank you, Daddy. That the result shall be favorable. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name. Amen. So relax yourself. Don't be apprehensive. Are you in Lagos or Abuja? I'm in Onitsha now. Good. So you'll be there for the election? Yes, sir. Very good. Yes, Daddy. That's where to be. Thank you, Daddy. That's where to be. Thank you, Daddy. I said all Nigerians have equal stake in this election. Nobody has a right to claim that he's dashing something to someone. Thank you, Daddy. We are coming out of it. Thank you, Daddy. So your family in Jesus' name. Amen. So how is the East generally? East is okay. East is quiet. Okay. And the Middle Belt, how are we doing? Middle Belt, we're okay. But in places like Kogi, Kwara, and Niger, is a worrisome place. Well, we'll get through to Kwara. Oh, fantastic. I went to Kwara and visited Olofa Afofa, who told me that nobody has ever come here. With you, no problem. But the Christian community in Kwara and Niger, and listen, I'm also working in Kogi, same way. Okay. Then I will target these clips to them. Thank you. I will make sure they get it today. Thank you. In Jesus' name. I'll be looking out for the release as well. Okay. Ask your pastor to send it to me. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you. I'll do that. God bless you. Thank you. Peace. So I'll see you talk to you later today. Yeah, thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you.
And me, I don't see anything wrong for that audio. Abi here they pay me. There was not, even if it was even if it was really real, I don't see anything indicting in that video. There was nothing there. Nothing. We know it's fake, it's deep fake, because they have a way they can do it, right? However, there's nothing indicting in that. He will address it today, right? Okay, we'll be waiting. Exactly. You understand? These people, their interest that they work for. So they come to Nigeria, make all this money. Guess what? They want the whole everything to be working for them to the detriment of the real indigens. And our leaders, because they don't love themselves, they cannot love their people. That's why they can have access. So we cannot be quiet, oh my people. We fight now, enjoy later. I'm telling you, this is the time. We come together as united front and fight these people to the ground. Now fight to finish with this one. Yeah, I'm waiting for that address. Then come my day. Then waiting the one. There's not even the video. There was nothing inside. Waiting the inside. All the ones when they don't, we don't hear from their side. The kind ones when we don't, even the written, the stuff when they write for Twitter. It reached to cause war for other countries. Nothing like that don't happen. I beg. Exactly, my brother. Yeah, I will attire too. Oh. Nothing wrong. I don't see that. Nothing inside that video. I see show. Now the video be that. That's it. So yeah, of course. It's usually France they have base. Most of these Lebanese people they have connection with France somehow. Most of the Lebanese people that I've met, they always speak French and they have connection with France. Look, Agbado is going to France. That tells you something. Guys, do not sleep on this. Let your voice be loud. We are taking back our country now, not be tomorrow. Now. Abeg o, I no fit shout. Make dem go sort out their problems. Make dem go sort out their problem because they've kicked France out from most of these francophone countries. They are looking for where to perch because they don't have anything in France. Nothing dey France, nothing dey France. They wan come milk, dem dey look for where to come milk. Abeg o, nobody should sit down in their corner and be say, well, I'm not kukuma in Nigeria. You are kukuma Nigerian. She say no touch you, e go touch you where you dey. It doesn't matter where you are in this world, it will affect you. It's bad enough say your color first na problem. Your color na problem. In case you no know, in case some people dey in denial, your color na problem first of all. Abeg o, God abeg. If nobody dey join me for studio, I'm wrapping this up. I'm sharing my link for the last time before I go. Make I go chill for the rest of the evening. That's all I came to say. That please, we shouldn't give up. We cannot give up. Our lives depend on it, literally. Our lives depend on it. These people are not willing to give up. We should not. We should be as resolute as they are, if not more. We must beat this. We must collect our mandate. We must. Abeg o. By the way, I hear say roads Vivor don drag Agbado, Bubu, Sanwo-Olu, others to ICC over organized crimes against humanity. Abi? Una hear that one too. So, omo, we move. That's it. All right, people. You know, Kene, abeg, go rest. You see, you use unku cream. Oh my God. You think say they work? You are still black. Your nose, it doesn't change. The cream, they change your nose. Even if you go do surgery to fix the nose, my dear, the black still comes out. You can't hide it. You know, so wetin happen to Michael Jackson with all the things when he change. Omo, guy still blackity black. You still know say na black man. So that your uncle cream, sorry, e no go work. He said uncle cream. Oh my God, that is so hilarious. All right, guys. Well, it's been real. This is nice and easy. 1 hour, perfect. So I'll probably see you guys sometime in the week. You sleep with peg clipping your nose. How do you breathe? You cannot breathe with that. You know, abeg, you no go yourself. Oh my God. Can you not go by yourself trying to look a certain way? Relax. You're black. Accept it. Just accept it. Accept it. All that clipping will not work. Kò lè work. Clipping the nose using uncle cream. Lórí irọ́. When the knuckles go dey black, your leg go dey black. Na that time you go know say khaki no be leather. Oh, my people, thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to come and do quick reporting here, and we move. So I go probably see you now sometime in the week. I'm not sure yet. A girl has to chill. Bobrisky no black. Bobby Bobrisky, okay. Who no know say Bobrisky black? Who no know say Bobrisky black for you? Bobrisky is black. With all the bleaching, is she still blackity black? Her attitude, abi, his attitude. Na he she na he when they like to, he don't change himself to woman by force by force. You bath with sandpaper knuckles. You buy bath with sandpaper knuckles go clear, okay. When you peel your endodermis, abi wetin dey call am, that first layer of skin, peel the second layer, peel the third, na that time you go know. You say dey use sandpaper. Na so your skin tough. No go wunjure yourself on top of trying to look. Oh my god, that is so funny. Anyway, guys, enjoy your Saturday. I go see you now. We continue, we move over the week, sometime during the week. We shall continue this. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, y'all. It's been real. I'm out of here. Bye. Oh my God.